Hello and welcome to another episode. So continuing the series of looking at Foundry VTT without a system, I'm going to look at 3 modules today that will help you if you're using Foundry without a system. So to start off, we are using the following modules today. We've obviously got the simple world building system. We've got bar brawl, bonus dice, roll of fate, and I'm also using PDF Foundry for the character sheets as shown in my previous video. And today's maps are from Tactical Map Battle Maps. They are a free download from the Foundry VTT store, so check them out, some really nice maps there. And the tokens I'm using today are from Paperforge Minis, of which I am a patron. So once you've downloaded those modules from the Foundry store, you want to install them. And once they're installed, we'll have a look. So here we have our characters, our 3 PCs in our scene. We've got Anne, Brian and Charlie. So the first module we're going to look at is bonus dice. Bonus dice is a nice module that gives you the ability to give fate points or bennies or inspiration in your games. So let's go over to the module settings. So this is bonus dice here, and bonus dice appear in the drop down box for the players. As you can see, we've got player 1 Anne and player 2, and that's how many bonus dice they've got. And we can award bonus dice as the games master by clicking on these, and that will give a bonus dice. And in the chat you'll see the text will be given bonus dice. The GM gave the player a bonus dice, and let's say we give 2 to player 1 and 1 to player 2. As the player, you will see the same for your character. You will see the dice, and any of the players that are logged on, you'll see a gift. So if you want to spend one of your bonus dice, all you need to do is you click on the dice icon. It reduces it by 1, and it tells everybody that player 1 has used that bonus dice. If you want to give one of your bonus dice to one of your fellow players, then you click on the gift. It will transfer it across to that player, and it will say player 1 has given a bonus dice to player 2. So in the customization, you can set the absolute maximum number of bonus dice you want to give. So if you're using inspiration in D&D 5e, so you only have 1, you can set that to 1. You can set the name of the dice that you want to use, so it could be inspiration, it could be fate points, it could be bennies, and also you can set the alias of the sender, that is the title appears here. So we'll call that GM for now, and then it tells you the message, and you can customize this. So you want to keep the player the same, the dollar player and dollar bonus dice, because that will pick the names from up here, and it will say you can show how you want to word it in here is up to you. It also gives you a warning if you go into negative, and a warning that over the limit. So if I save these now, you'll see that there is a limit. I've now set a limit of 1, and you can see in the chat here you've got GM and the inspiration. So that's a nice little system there for anything that involves the extra fate points, bonus dice, bennies. Great little system. That's bonus dice. The next one we're going to look at is roll of fate. Now, if you've ever been in that situation as a GM where you've got a bad guy or a monster, it's got a choice of 3 of your players to choose from, and you choose randomly, or you might say, oh, okay, on the 1 or 2 it's Anne, on the 3 or 4 it's Brian, etc. Well, this roll of fate will let you automate this. So basically all you do is you click on each of the characters that's involved in the roll of fate, and in this case there's 3 of them, so hold the shift key down, highlight all 3, and when this roll of fate is activated, there's a little yin yang symbol next to the dice. Click on that and you'll see that this shows it is time, new actor, you should be so lucky. But I've named these characters Anne, Brian and Charlie. Well, what you can be careful is when you're naming these tokens, you might have named them here, but you've got to name the token as well. So let's change this one to Charlie. So now all of them have got their names as well. So now when we go back to it and highlight all 3 characters, we roll again, and you see a heading, a background, and it is time, Charlie, you have been chosen. So it's each time you're clicking on these, no matter how many you click, you can, if you wanted, to choose between these 2, and it will do a random dice roll between the 2. And this is fully customizable as well. So if we go into the module settings for Roll of Fate, you can display the characters in the chat. You can just ignore NPCs. You can choose the background image. As you can see, we've got 3 background images there. You can upload your own background images, providing you've got a URL to them. So if you've got a URL to them, you can change the 3 background images, you can change the custom sound, and you can also customize all the text. So if we go into the customizer, you can see here we've got our 3 backgrounds that are picked. It tells you what the header is, it tells you prefix, text, and suffix. You can add a drop shadow, change the color of the text, and basically for each of these areas, you put each new line is a new heading. So for example, in header, we've got Roll of Fate, Fate has been decided, Call of Apathaur, Judgment Day, and there's a blank line. If there's a blank line, then that is one of the choices, and as you can see in this one, we've got Roll of Fate on this second roll, Call of Apathaur on the third roll, but on the first roll there's nothing, and that's because there is a gap there. So if we remove that, that removes that title. Your prefix list. So at the moment we've got the noble, and it is time. You could put who is unlucky today as a new one. So that's a prefix before the name. Then you'll have the name of the token, and then you have the suffix. And again, I've changed the last one to be you should be so lucky. If we save those now, save the changes, and again, every time we roll, you're getting a random heading, a random prefix, and a random suffix. And I use this in all of my games. It's a great way adds a little bit of tension for the players, and it's easy for me to highlight a couple of players and for fate to decide. So that is Roll of Fate. The last one we're going to look at is Bar Brawl. Now, with your normal tokens, you have got a health bar, and you can set a health bar above and a health bar below. And let's change the scene and have a different scene, just so you can see some of these nice maps. You can see all these maps have got doors in the walls. They've all been placed in for you. So just download this module and you can have some nice generic maps that if you need a map quickly, all the walling's been done for you and all the doors. Very nice work. So we've got our 3 characters in here. As you can see, we haven't got character sheets for Brian and Charlie, but for Anne, I can set up a PDF. Let's set up a PDF sheet for her. Default sheet, we'll set a PDF Foundry one, and here we have to select the PDF we're going to use. See my previous video for this, and here we have got the character sheet. This is a World of Darkness light game, and in this game there should be 3 health bars. The health is marked along here, and we have got basically stun damage, lethal damage, and aggravated damage, but because the character sheet doesn't do them, I want to apply that to the character. So we can see here we've got 5 health, so they're going to have 5 on each of the 3 bars. So if we go to the settings for the icon for the token and go to our resources, and this is where it's new, we can add the resource. So first of all, we're going to add we can pick an attribute that's set on the character sheet, and health is one of the ones on our character sheets, and if you can see it in Brian's here, this is the health and this is the resources. We can set the colors, The current value is taken from the character sheet on this one because it's already preset. We decide, just as we did before, who's allowed to see it, with a position where it's going to be bottom, top, and inside or outside of other bars, and a label. You can have the user default, which we'll leave for this one, none, fraction, which is a value maximum, and percentage. So we're going to have health, and that's going to be our first health bar. Our second health bar, we're going to do the same again. We're going to add another resource. We'll add a resource. This one is going to be custom, and we're going to say it's 5 and 5. I'm happy with the colors. I could change the colors if I wanted to, but I'm happy with the colors. Always for everyone. This one I'm going to put on the top, and this one will have as a fraction value, update token, and as we zoom in, you can see now 5 out of 5 on this one. And third line, I'm going to add my final bar, so we're going to add another resource. This one is going to be 5 out of 5 again. I'm going to stick to the custom colors, and this one is going to be on the top, and let's stick it on the top outside of the previous bars, and this one will have as a percentage. You can also ignore limits. So on this one, I don't want to ignore the upper limit. 5 is the absolute maximum it can go, and that will keep it at 5. So there we have the third bar. So you can have numerous bars. You don't have to just use them for health. You've got 3 different health types. You can alter each of them on the token as well. So if I want to decrease that one to the blue one to 4, I can do. If I want to decrease this one to 2, the white one to 2, I can do so. So as you can see, it's all kept within the bars there. So that's bar brawl. Great for if you're using a system where you need multiple health tracks. And you can also use these in other systems. And let's just have a look what you can do. If you've got a system which is not held by Foundry, but there is something similar, what you can do is use an underlying system and then use PDFs. So if I return to setup now, and we'll go to the World of Darkness game, we have to set my password. So I've got a Chronicles of Darkness game here, but the game I'm going to be running doesn't fully follow the Chronicles of Darkness character sheet and setting. So let's see what we can do about it. So when we create a character in this system, this is the setting character sheet for the setting. But let's say that I've modified this and I don't want to use all its attributes, but I want to use the underlying system. Well, what I can do is, if I've got PDF Foundry installed, I can install different character sheets. So now when I come to open beta, what I can do is sheet, select PDF Foundry, and now I can use a different character sheet. So let's select which PDF we're going to use for this one. This one will use the 3+ system, and you'll see it appear in a minute. We've got a new character sheet. So I've got the underlying system beneath it, but I can use the new character sheet. Why would I want to use the underlying system? Well, for example, on this one, it's got a nice dice roller in it. So let's just close this for a second and go down here. So it's got a nice dice roller for Worlds of Darkness, where I can pick my dice pool, I can pick what I'm going for, and I can do the rolls, and it does the rolls already for me. But I'm using a custom character sheet. As you can see here, there's the custom character sheet. So I can just use this for recording my character sheet, but use the underlying system for everything else. So that's just another quick tip. I hope you found something of use in this video. Leave any comments in the below if there's anything else you'd like me to cover for systems, for games where the system isn't covered, and I'll see you all on the flip side.